Good morning, wonderful skiers. Today we're going to go up the mountain, learn about 3 types of carve turns so you can conquer all the groomers. The first type of turn is the carve turn with a crossover transition. And its main advantage is that if you go from this position while carving, then you stand up tall. Here you're really strong and it conserves energy. And then the next advantage is that you can really feel the topple as you incline into the next turn.
So with the crossover you stand up and then you get to reset your position nicely like this, an athletic position. Just chilling, moving into the next turn.
The third and final advantage of it is that when you stand tall, like such, let's say I'm inclining into this turn, then I can, when I choose to, like really hammer on extra pressure on the outside ski so it grips, bends the skis, and create a swooshing turn, and it feels great. Since the crossover is probably your default turn, I'm not going to go into too many steps, but let's think about how you can do this nice. So if we want to go from here to standing up pretty tall, you got to imagine I'm turning. The first and most obvious strategy for me is that you soften this outside leg, letting the G-forces that's pulling you down the mountain help you stand up. First way to do crossover is that we focus on the outside leg and have it soften a little bit. Soften. That makes you stand up a little bit tall. The next crossover strategy you can use is that you actually think about the inside leg and you let that one extend a little bit, helping you to have this crossover transition and then topple into the next turn. And then you can focus on the upper leg and extend it. Push you down the hill a little bit. Also feels great. The third way to use this crossover turn in a rad way is we're carving here. I'm deciding I use the outer lead to soften that one, come up tall. I'm inclining into the next turn. At the apex, I go. I think that I'm reaching down a little bit with the pole to do a little touch. Bam! Crank it in. And I basically use the upper body to get this angulation onto the ski, hammer on, pressure on the outside ski, letting it grip, and it goes, wah! And it is awesome. Topple, crank it in. Oh yes, so good. The crossover's main disadvantages are the following. It's A, that if you stand up tall like this, you get hit by a lot of wind, which will slow you down. And if you're ski racing, that's not optimal. Then B, it's slow in a different way. If you stand up tall, it takes a long time to change edges, which could speed you up. And if it's steep, maybe you need to change edges really fast. Did you see my Polish donut? It was sweet.
One a day, keep the doctor away.
Exactly, what I always say. Hey, why not join one of our ski technique camps for adults where we do lots of video analysis, we have level 4 ski instructors, combine it with Carve digital ski coach to push you as far as possible. Maybe you'll even learn some freestyle skiing. Maybe see you there. Ciao. The next type of turn is the cross under. And that means that basically the legs are crossing under the body, and its main advantages are the following. Is A, down here, you're smaller, so you're aerodynamically faster. Plus, when you're this low, you're really fast from edge to edge. So if it's steep or you're riding gates like slalom, you will be quicker from one turn to the next. A great way to force a cross-under transition is with a double swords drill. It's quite different from a recent video where I did single swords drill to make you angulate more. Here, the whole reason is to make us go lower, so you can even grab the post like up here to make the post even shorter. But do not just fall by the waist. In the transitions, we want to sit on that toilet seat. Let's go for a ride and I'll show you. All right, swords, look at that. Drag them all times. Toilet seat. Woohoo! Remember that, you pull up the legs and then extend them away from you. Extend, pull up, extend. Wow. Shit, yes, it's so beautiful today. A little drill I like to call the toilet transition. Make a nice long transition in between and really sit on the toilet there, like this. And finishing the turn on the toilet and then extend on the toilet. A pretty long transition. I feel a pumping motion, how the legs are going out, in, and out. The disadvantages are the following. A, it looks like you're sitting on the toilet, and that's lame. And B, this can lead recreational skiers to also be backseated when they're trying to put pressure on the skis, which is no good at all. And C, it's really tiresome for recreational skiers to ski like this because it requires proper effort. That's why I recommend doing this with just short bits of the slope. When you really want to do rad turns, it feels amazing. Really extend outward, pull in, extend. Maybe you're wondering who these ski-loving elephants are. They're part of a traveling art exhibition I quite like. My favorite one is the cat elephant. Wow, the slopes today are... So now we're going to connect our phones, and Carl is going to film me with his phone connected to sensors in my boots, and we'll see if I get the best ski IQ on my crossover or my cross under. I think I found the only stretch of slope that's not smashed full of bumps because it's still Christmas holiday, and we're going to do the ski IQ test.
So you can see in these crossovers that it takes a little while before I go from one turn to the next because I have to stand up so tall, and that takes some time. But it looks pretty fluid and smooth, these turns, so I'm quite happy about them. These cross under turns, I just think it's more exciting to look how the legs are extending and then retracting in the transition, quickly going from edge to edge.
The two different types of turns here. Actually, the data kind of back of what I would have bet money on would be better on the crossover, for example, where I'm a little bit better topple to the inside. I'm a little bit better at moving forwards because it's easier to move forwards at the beginning of the turn, but it's harder to move backwards at the end of the turn compared to the cross under. And also on the cross under, as I often say, it's a little harder to topple or feel the topple down the hill. Also wasn't so good on that turn. And but all in all, I think the cross under felt better, and for me it was a more appealing turn to look at. You can let me know in the comments below which one you thought looked better, crossover or cross under. The Stivot Turn's main advantage is that if you're riding gates, you can take a more narrow line if you add this little skid in the middle and then carve as much as possible cleanly around it. But for us recreational skiers, or me as a lifelong freestyle skier, I see it as a trick that feels amazing, and B, as a way of controlling speed on really steep slopes. So you can skid in transition a bit and then carve perhaps half of the turn cleanly, and then add a Stivot once again, and it feels awesome. All right, to explain the Stivot, let's make some turns here. Turn, finish, transition. Let's make another nice turn here. Cool. So now we're carving this turn cleanly down. Finish, nice angulation. He messed up my drawing. Anyway, I still see them. You stand up medium tall, something in between the crossover and under. As you stand up, you're unweighting the skis a little. And then you want to twist just the feet. Avoid twisting the hip, because then you have to counter-rotate too much, putting your arms far out, which is slow. So unweight then, twist, skid a little bit, and then you twist them back. And then put some nice forward pressure, allowing the skis to grip real hard, and put them more on edge, so they carve cleanly out. It feels amazing. But be careful. As a recreational skier, this can be difficult and you'll end up just doing skidded turns, which isn't that cool. So the Stivot, start on a really gentle blue run like this. Just carve along, then you add that one. And let it stivot for quite a long time. And it's crucial that it's flat because it's quite scary. It can feel like you're gonna catch an edge. But remember, it needs to go silent after the Stivot, meaning that you are carving cleanly. The Stivot Turn is just fantastic on a run like this. We got a bunch of soft snow foam and it's really quite steep, especially after the roller. So I would actually struggle to carve this cleanly, but with the Stivot Turn, I can control the speed quite easily, something like this. So Stivots for speed control. Going over here, and then just carve the like bottom half of the turn maybe. Maybe try it while being a little bit more cross under. Look at that, it's pretty steep. And I could carve that easily with the help of the Stivot. It's just an amazing tool for speed control. The disadvantages are that skidding about is obviously slow for racing, but it's often what we want. And B, it takes some energy too, so you don't want to be doing this all the time. Now I'm going to show you how I blend these three techniques in one run. Feel a little bit lazy, so you start with a bit of crossovers. Let's keep it really mellow. And then like really tall crossover here, that's the one that keeps me speed. Oh, that felt nice. And here it's going to get a little steep. So we have a little Stivot. Another little Stivot. And then back to crossover here to save some energy. And then, that was boring. Let's do the cross on this because it's bumpy. But it's really bumpy. Oh, that's some great conditions. Stivot, Stivot. We can like Stivot in over this little hill. Really soft, so then I prefer to cross under. Yeah, that's enough. Hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, chances are that you'd also enjoy one of our ski technique freestyle freeride camps or the video up there. See you in the next one. Ciao.